Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2 and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now, for this evening, we are going to go ahead and get into Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Lowen. We are currently in chapter number 3, which is entitled The Truth About the First Thanksgiving. We are currently on take number 10 of this chapter. So without further ado, take number 10 reads as such. Now that is a story worth telling. Compare the Pallet account in Land of Promise. He had learned their language from English fishermen. As translator, ambassador, and technical advisor, Squanto was essential to the survival of Plymouth in its first 2 years. Like other Europeans in America, the Pilgrims had no idea what to eat or how to raise or find food until American Indians showed them. William Bradford called Squanto a special instrument sent of God for their good beyond their expectation. He directed them how to set their corn, where to take fish, and to procure other commodities, and was also their pilot to bring them to unknown places for their profit. Squanto was not the Pilgrims' only aid. In the summer of 1621, Massasoit, I'm going to spell it for you, Massasoit, sent another Indian, Hobomok, Hobomok, to live among the Pilgrims for several years as guide and ambassador. Their profit was the primary reason most Mayflower colonists made the trip. As Robert Moore has pointed out, textbooks neglect to analyze the profit motive underlying much of our history. Profit, too, came from American Indians by the way of the fur trade, without which Plymouth would never have paid for itself. Hobomok helped Plymouth set up fur trading posts at the mouth of the Penobscot, I believe, is Penobscot, and Kennebec rivers in Maine, and Optu could X. Well, I know I butchered that name, y'all. I'm going to spell it. It's in Massachusetts, okay? And the spelling of it is Aptuxexet. Excuse me. And in Windsor, Connecticut, Europeans had neither the skill nor the desire to go boldly where none dared go before. They went to the Indians. Now here is a little picture right here. Can you see the picture? I believe this is going to let us regarding, remember we were just talking about the fur trade, but for the picture I just showed you, this is what reads underneath. Squanto's traveled acquainted him with more of the world than any Pilgrim encountered. He had crossed the Atlantic perhaps 6 times, twice as an English captive, and had lived in Maine, Newfoundland, Spain, and England, as well as Massachusetts. So no, I was incorrect. That was not in regards to the fur. That was in regards to Squanto, or where he had been. Let us continue on. All this brings us to Thanksgiving. Throughout the nation, every fall, elementary school children reenact a little morality play, the first Thanksgiving as our national origin myth, complete with pilgrim hats made out of construction paper and Indian braids with feathers in their hair. Thanksgiving is the occasion on which we give thanks to God as a nation for the blessings that He hath bestowed upon us. More than any other celebration, more even than such overly patriotic holidays as Independence Day and Memorial Day, Thanksgiving celebrates our ethnocentrism. We have seen, for example, how King James and the early pilgrim leaders give thanks for the plague, which proved to them that God was on their side. The archetypes associated with Thanksgiving: God on our side, civilization wrestled from wilderness, order from disorder, through hard work and good pilgrim character traits, continue to radiate from our history textbooks. Many decades ago, in an analysis of how American history was taught in the 1920s, Bessie Pierce pointed out the political use to which Thanksgiving is put. For these unexcelled blessings, the pupil is urged to follow in the footsteps of his forebears, to offer unquestioning obedience, to the law of the land, and to carry on the work begun. Thanksgiving dinner is a ritual with all the characteristics that Mircea, or Marseille, Mircea, Eliade, Eliade, assigns to the ritual observances of origin myths. It constitutes the history of the acts of the founders, the supernaturals. It is considered to be true. It tells how our institution came into existence. In performing the ritual associated with the myth, one experiences knowledge of the origin and claims one patriarchy. Thus, one lives the myth as a religion. My Random House dictionary lists as its main heading for the Plymouth colonists not pilgrims but pilgrim fathers. Until recently, the Library of Congress similarly cataloged its holiday for Plymouth under Pilgrim Fathers. And of course, fathers was capitalized, meaning fathers of our country, not of pilgrim children. Thanksgiving has thus moved from history into the field of religion, civil religion. As Robert Bella has called it, to Bella, civil religions hold society together. Plymouth Rock achieved iconographic status around 1880, when some enterprising residents of the town rejoiced its two pieces on a waterfront and built a Greek template around it. The template became a shrine. The Mayflower Compact became a sacred text, and our textbooks began to play the same function as the Anglican Book of Common Prayer, teaching us the meaning behind the civil rite of Thanksgiving. The religious character of Pilgrim history shines forth in an introduction by Valerian Paget to William Bradford's famous chronicle of Plymouth Plantation. And I'm going to just tell you this Chronicle of Plymouth Plantation, then we'll end take 10. And I was just looking, with take 11, we should be able to finish up chapter number 3 and be well on going to chapter number 4. So before I let you go, the eyes of Europe were upon the little England handful of unconscious heroes and saints, taking courage from them step by step. For their children's children, the same ideals of freedom burned so clear and strong that the little episode we have just been contemplating resulted in the birth of the United States of America. And above all of the establishment of the humanitarian ideals it typifies, TYPIFIES, and for which the pilgrims offered their sacrifice upon the altar of the sonship of man. That does complete take number 10 here on Poem Praise 2. Certainly stay tuned for take number 11. And before you go, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. You'll know when I'm coming with something new here on Poem Praise 2. I want for you and your family to be well, to take care, to be safe, and be blessed. Be it thy will. I'll talk with you soon. So until next time, later, y'all.